It's an allegory again, the angels restoring what we burn away. The devil comes yearning for her eternal flame, burning inside. Girl, what's burning inside?
Hey kid, good morning. 4:28 a.m. It's early.
Out the burpees.
How's the burpees? You think anyone gets this shit? One day. Maybe one day someone will listen to all this and understand our true greatness. Hey, Andy.
Hey, boys.
An Andy Reid impression? Yeah, early in the morning. Let's go.
What are y'all talking about?
We're talking about greatness, Andy.
Oh, yeah, I know greatness very well.
Oh, because you're great?
No, I would never call myself great. But I know great men and women and beautiful babies, but, it's a whole other thing. I'm a coach.
Yeah, you're a coach. You're a great coach.
Some say that.
You stuttered.
I did.
Is anyone really going to understand a random Andy Reid impression? Not if I don't do it well. Eventually, if they, listen to these things, they'll understand who Andy Reid is, or at least this character that we play. Who's Andy Reid in this play? Well, Andy Reid, much like Ad Lady.
Ad lady's here.
Hey, Ad Lady.
Oh, hi, hey, Andy.
Hey, Ad Lady.
If Ad Lady, another one of our characters, is truthful, blunt, and, she kind of always tells it like it is, what's Andy Reid? Well, he's practical, pragmatic, and
I tell it like it is.
You do. Go on, my friend. Oh, hold on. Let me put the mask and the mustache on. Oh, pardon me. 143. Love you too. Go on, Andy.
You're talking about greatness?
Yeah. What is greatness, Andy?
Well, greatness is the measure of a man or woman or beautiful baby, It's who they are, which is a measure of what they do and all those great things,
Really? You've coached great men.
I always coach great men. But greatness isn't being perfect because
your impression's failing. Yeah, I'm struggling here. It's been a while since I've done Andy Reid. I'm going to try here.
Do or do not, there is no try. Something Yoda, little green guy.
Go on. You were saying, Andy?
Yeah. Greatness is more than just what you do. It's who you are. But you, much like a nickname, you can't call yourself great.
Oh, okay.
Just like what you just did before. It's not what you think you are. It's what they do.
Well, who's they?
Well, whoever's watching the play or watching you. Something. And if you have a great play and you have great men leading it, you get great outcomes and championships and stuff,
This is a bad impression. I'm trying, kid. I'm trying. Go on, Andy.
And greatness is, it's a legacy. It's how people view you while you're here and when you're gone.
Well, legacy's when you're gone, right?
Well, yeah, I kind of flubbed there. I'm not perfect. No one is.
Well, I thought some people were in this play in history. Wasn't Jesus great?
Yeah, you could say so. Yeah.
What about Superman?
Oh, yeah. If you want to get fictional.
On which character?
I see what you did there. I'm not going to go there.
Okay. No kid.
But, greatness isn't perfection. Greatness is value. You bring value. And people see that. They feel that. Because you are that to them. Greatness is also 24/7.
Oh, how so?
Well, you were talking about Superman? Yeah.
Hey, what's up, kid?
Oh, no, not you.
If I said Superman, hey, I'm gonna go practice. See you later. Hey, where's TK?
Yeah, he's at practice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, gotta go win the big one again. See you later. I'm gonna be great. Bye.
Who was that? Nobody.
That was a great man. And much like Superman, PM is great 24/7. He's not just great on the field; he's great off it. Because, boys, I'll leave you with this: greatness is more than just a legacy; it's a brand. It's how people brand you. And it's not perfection, but I understand why you went there with Superman and Jesus. But they were truly great, even if one of them is fictional. Which one? I'm not going to go there. But at the end of the day, greatness is 24/7. It's being great, doing the right thing, at least trying to. Not just when people are looking, when you got the cape on, the red cape, like my man over there. It's when the cape is tucked in and, when you got your glasses on. Oh, like Clark Kent. Yeah, something like that. You're the potential for doing good things and bring love and stuff. Listen, I got to go. You got to go to practice? Yeah, I got to go run practice. There's a couple great men that need some leadership and some guidance. They need direction, kind of like a good director. That's a great coach. Yeah, you direct the play. Zzz. Gotta go. Nice talking to you. Bye. Hey, lady.
Hey, Andy, looking good. Losing weight. Looking great.
Does anyone 5:55 in? I don't know if anyone understood what we just did. One day someone will listen to all this and understand whether or not we're great or not. I don't know, but whether or not we bring value is another thing. So, okay, I don't know what that was, but maybe it was an intro, maybe a smart one. Who knows? 4:34 a.m. Let's move on. Yeah, it's early. It is always early, but we're always up for we're always up for the game or the play. Speaking of, once again, to remind everyone on Earth who listens, all the world's a stage, and all the men and women and beautiful babies merely players. Thanks, my lady, for letting us know that. And essentially, greatness, it's just something we talk about in this pod. This is episode 6, the greatest truth ever sold. And we talk about greatness. We do. Well, kid, you heard what Andy Reid said, or the impression of. And he gave us, don't say it, his impression of greatness. What do you think? Well, I thought it was practical and pragmatic and dead on the money. Yeah, it was dead on. Basically, greatness is 24/7. And you cannot call yourself great. You can just be great and kind of do your thing. In other words, emanate your light and your love like the sun without condition. You're just great whenever the situation calls for it. Right, PM?
Oh, yeah. Hey, did you see where Andy went? I got to go practice. You got to be great, you know what I'm saying? I got to be the goat.
One more time?
You know what I said. Got to go.
Who is that? A bad impression of a certain great guy from Kansas City. We'll leave that there. One day, kid. So greatness, that's kind of the center of this pod. It's like, well, are we truly great? Well, that's up for you to decide, or for others to decide. And I'm not going to ask if America is great. Yeah, please don't. Because some people might think America's great, and it in many ways is great. But there might be some other people in the world that beg to differ because they don't see the value in what we do across the world. That's a whole other pod. In essence, it kind of is and isn't. Because as we're trying to get the point across here that greatness is a 24/7 thing. Greatness is not a perfection thing, though. Because if you're trying to be great, you're going to fail. You just got to be. Greatness is kind of what you end up doing. I say it in a different way. Well, how can I say this? Greatness is the result. That's the Z, right? You can only influence X and Y. You can't put Z for someone there, right? When they look at your equation and they kind of peer review what you just did or what you are, or whatever, they need to come to their conclusion of Z, whether or not you're great or not. So if you run around saying how great you are and blah blah blah, and you're starting with the Z, it's like, okay, that sounds good, that sounds great, but what are you truly inside? And let's look at the work, let's look at the evidence and do the equation for ourselves. Move out of the way, kid. You know what I mean? That type of thing. Kind of. Why do we believe? It's kind of an underlying theme in this entire pod series. Not just the greatest truth ever sold, but the blank space. Why do we believe? Why do we care? Well, because we want to. We get something out of it, or at least we think we do. And great men, women, and beautiful babies show us something or provide us something of value We value them. We like the stars in the sky that we stared at during the witching hour outside. You were outside. I was. Go on. Oh, sorry. I thought you were speaking. I was. Some stars just stand out from others in the sky because they're brighter. Well, what does it mean to be brighter? I'm not going to explain light, but we kind of are. Because the manifestation of brightness, like a star for an individual, a human being, is their actions, is it not? Yeah, it's more than that, is it not? It is. And we're going to get into that. And great people, men, women, beautiful babies, in the end, it's not about perfection. It's not about doing the right thing all the time because, I mean, how is that person authentic, audacious, and accessible if they never fail, if they never falter? Because ask Michael Jordan. Some people think he was a great man. Well, he's a great basketball player. I don't know if he's a great man. Good correction. Just because you do something great doesn't mean you are great. Correct? Yes. We cannot conflate the two. Well said. Go on. I kind of lost my train of thought here, but you were talking about just what greatness is. What greatness is? You can't try to be great. That is the totality of your value of what you are and what you did or said, or that's for someone else to decide. You just got to go be, do your thing. And like Andy Reid said, if you're talking Superman, what made Superman great? Well, we're going to talk about that. What made Jesus great? We're going to talk about that. What makes you great? We'll leave that open, a blank space. Because I could postulate that there really isn't much difference between Superman, Jesus, and a great man. Because the equation's the same. It's the Z, what you put at the end, the legacy. Oh, corny. How you think of them and perceive them, that's, creates the legend. Because the man is X plus Y. The Z is the legend. And at the end of the day, the X plus Y kind of should speak for itself. Whether or not you think they were perfect, they were legendary, that you're losing me. Okay. In other words, greatness just is. And great men, women, beautiful babies, they just are. They just do their thing. And it's not whether or not they're perfect all the time. It's how do they course correct? How do they adjust? Do they believe in themselves? Do they believe in the cause, whatever the cause may be? Do they believe in others? Do they believe in a higher purpose, their higher purpose? And do they manifest it? Because if someone is great, it means they did something of value or they left value. They were thinking of others. They were emanating a light, or they emanate a light, present or past tense, whichever. And that light reaches someone and someone says, wow, I am better, at least in this moment or in my entire lifetime, for knowing you, interacting with you, or following you and what you taught. You showed me the way and it got me to where I needed to go. All other items that I forgot or I left out there, you could fill in those blanks. But I essentially just describe what a great person is, right? They impact your life. They show you the way, either by their own actions or words or whatever. 1333 in. That's value. And greatness is not relegated to just others. We can be great. And I'm not going to go kind of explain that. We're going to kind of demonstrate that. The problem, though, folks, and we've talked about this before, how great are we inside? And what is it that's holding us back from realizing that true greatness and our value? Because one of the things, remember that. Because if we're always thinking other things are great, other people are great, and we idolize and we project our inadequacies, our inability to be great, because we think we can't do that or we haven't done that. Say it differently. Because we value value. We crave value. We want greatness in our lives. That's kind of why you live life, to be great, to have a great life, to experience the value of existence through a beautiful experience that you learn something from, an enlightenment. And if someone else also becomes enlightened through your experience and your existence, that's the total package. You've checked off all the boxes. When you're standing in front of your maker, or whatever you think, if you think it's like the Egyptians where you get measured and it's a big accounting thing with scales and a heart and a feather. If you checked off all the boxes and your existence was great, the experience that you had and others had around you was great, the enlightenment speaks for itself. You have no need to go there. Others will do it for you. And the scales will balance out and you can move on. You've won. It's as simple as that. But sometimes it's tough. We need to be shown how to do this. And we gravitate towards certain individuals that we believe are showing us the way or we get value from. But the difference here, the problem, my friend, is if we are just witnessing the play, like it is a play, and we are just in the audience, the crowd, so to speak, metaphorically speaking, then it's just a play. It's just a game that we're watching. It's a movie. It's sports. We're not in it. We're not being impacted by it. What do you mean by that? In other words, we have a mission. X plus Y equals Z. We are X. We have an identity. We have something we do very well. And when we extract that Y, our purpose from our X, and we put it into play and make it kinetic, that potential energy inside all of us, that divine spark, and we could borrow from that spark and that energy and put that into play into a kinetic form, we do something, right? We are something, then we do something, and then we know something. That's Z, the totality of our experience, the enlightenment. If we're just watching others do that, that's great. It's giving us a roadmap. It's giving us the plays and everything. But if we don't take that as an example of how to live, how to improve, what to aspire and be inspired by, it's tough doing it on your own. It's tough being the trailblazer. And it becomes difficult being the one when you're the zero. In other words, no one else has done it. You're the trail. And you've got to forge a path. You've got to create the very greatness people are crave. That's sought after. I don't understand what you mean. Okay, well, we'll go into that. We talked about Superman. Superman and Clark Kent, right? Why do people love Superman and Clark Kent? We're going to get into that in a second. Obviously a fictional character, but I mean, how many times have we talked about, great people in the live, and, people say, oh, he's like Superman, like, Pat Mahomes, yeah, he's like Superman.
Hey, what's up, guys?
hey, kid. Or Tommy Brady.
Tommy Brady.
And the greatness that they do on in a particular moment or event or whatever, when they find themselves in the big stage, they perform, they bring it home. But even Tom Brady, he failed, right? He lost. And it was in the seeds of his failures, like we were trying to talk about Michael Jordan, where they learn and they course correct, they adjust. And that in and of itself is inspiring. It demonstrates to people, these men, and we're going to talk men, that, there's many great women and beautiful babies out there, but we're going to talk men because we are them, or I am one. And I like to think that the true measure of a man is not when he's up and he's shining and he's bright. It's how does he get there from when he's not? Either the origin story, the kind of coming up from nothing and becoming great, or reaching the pinnacle and then falling and then starting again and resurrecting themselves and achieving a higher level of consciousness and existence and experience that others find enlightening, inspiring. And they hold them up into a higher level of legacy. Like that shining star, that brighter star in the sky, it stands out for a reason. But my question to you, my friends, is not do you believe, or are you God, or are we truly great? But the question is, does someone have to be like Superman to be great and to inspire you and to drive you to be a better person? You know, why do we believe? Well, because we want to, but why do we believe in greatness? Because that's what we're born to do. We have to believe in greatness before we can be greatness, because we're shown it's possible. But if someone is a little bit too superhuman, it becomes more of a show and less as a kind of, I don't know, game plan or kind of something you could follow and do yourself. Oh, some of these are funny. They are. This is crazy. Jesus and Superman. Because I thought, why must Jesus be Superman? Because in the Bible, essentially, they took something like this and they made it, you know, this. I'm into this. I understand that. But do I need that to value this? Let's get into it. Okay. What's that? It's an article on the website austingentry.com. I hope he doesn't, I believe Austin's a man or a beautiful baby, not sure. I want to talk about, I hope they don't mind that we're going to kind of cover this article. It's a kind of a brilliant article about how Superman parallels Jesus in 11 ways. And one of the things that I've never fully wrapped my head around with Jesus was, why does he have to be Superman? Why does he have to be perfect? I mean, it was beaten down into my head as a child that this guy's not just great, he's the savior. He did all these things for you. He loves you unconditionally. He died for you. He was perfect. He didn't succumb to the temptations and pleasures of life, of mortality. He was like walking God. And that can be inspirational, but that also, to me, is more like a play. Some people find inspiration in that. I get it. I don't know how much of a guidebook that is to try to be like someone that's so far ahead and so far reaching that you're like, I don't even know if I could ever get that high score. Right, Mr. Trump? Like he thinks so. Right, kid? You think this was this, and now you're this. Not sure about that, kid. But sharpen your thought. What are you trying to say? I don't find Jesus accessible in the Bible at all. You don't? I don't. In the same way, I almost find Superman more accessible because we get to see when he wasn't Superman. Well, you see when Jesus wasn't Superman in the Bible. Not really. I think some people would disagree with you. Well, you think this was Clark Kent and this is the Superman? Is that what you think? Because that's not how the Bible... I don't agree. I think you're misconstruing it, and you're editing what they're trying to tell you. Because I really think that the Bible does this. It shows Jesus is the man, and then that. Either way, I don't find it accessible. I actually find this character more accessible. And he's fictional. Makes me question this. I'm sorry, never question that. Question this. Do I really need this? What do you mean that you don't need the crucifixion? I don't need what happened after. That there's a cave and a tomb, and he came, and all of a sudden the ghost is there, and they're, oh my God, it was real. It's like they're trying really hard to bring home a plot hole or to cover up a plot hole. That if you truly are in the game playing it like us, then you should be relegated to the rules of the game. And you just play it better than us. Unless you have some sort of like superstar that makes you play it differently, I guess. But then I don't have access to that. I can't do this game like you. Then you cheated. Then you did it. You were the programmer, or you knew the programmer, or you were his son, and you just, you know what I mean? No, I don't. Let's get into this. You'll understand. So Austin Gentry talks about going to the theater and watching the Superman movie, and it was, incredible. But his eyes were glued to the screen and is racing on overdrive, and how the plotline characters and quotes parallel Christianity. It was like too compelling. I've thought about that. Yeah, me too. Like, he thinks that he embodied Jesus, and I agree. Well put, Austin. Not sure if the creator of Superman was thinking it that way, but the equations are awfully similar, are they not? But we know one of them is fictional. Wink, wink. We'll get into this. There's the other, number one, there's the otherworldly conflict, there's Krypton, whatever. And it's like, there's all this stuff going on from, it's the ultimate battle, and it even makes its way to Earth, blah, blah, blah. The Bible describes the meta narrative, the conflict where Lucifer, the light bringer, the highest ranking angel in God's kingdom, desires total power like God and leads a war upon God's establishment. Blah, blah, blah. All right. There's always a battle. There's always a war. Light versus dark, right? We've heard that before. Right, Mr. Maxwell? It's this game is light versus dark. Good versus evil, if you want to talk about it that way. And then the name, Superman, Kal-El. Yeah, this is a dead giveaway. In Hebrew, it's translated the voice of God. Jesus is referred to the word of God, right? Interesting. In addition, Jor-El, his dad, is spiritual name because El means God. However, I'm not going to act like I know any more Hebrew than El. Yeah, good. Well put. He's admitting his not inadequacies, but yeah, his limitations. Well done, kid. I've seen this before. And then the backstory of Krypton. Before Superman comes on the scene, Jor-El encodes the codex, right? The story. It contains all possible life in the heavenly realms into blood of Kal-El. Superman. Like, again, and then he makes the references from the Bible here. It's the same situation, the Father sending the Son to save the earth. Show us how to play the game. Right? The programmer sent the son that used to hang around him, hey kid, I got a mission for you. It might hurt though. Oh, good. And then he sent him to Earth knowing, humanity would reject him, but he did it anyway because it's the only way, same thing with Jesus. And then number 5, Clark Kent waited until the appointed time to save the world. Like, he was in hiding, so to speak, and kind of learning, doing his thing. And then when the time was right, boom, he met his match, or he hit his cue, and his story took off, literally. Same thing as Jesus. And then, Jor-El, his father, commissioned Kal-El to be the bridge between two peoples. In response, Kal-El agreed. I agreed. I will save them. So there was a mission from the very beginning. Same thing with Jesus, right? The mediator, God and humanity, the mediator, heaven and earth. Unfortunately, don't go there. The church likes to put someone in between this guy and earth, a priest or two. We can't have a direct connection to Superman. We need his agent. Okay. Not quite Lex Luthor, but we know how agents like to operate. They're double agents. Yeah, they have 2 motivations. Money and power. Jor-El, anyone? Jor-El said it was necessary for Kal to go to Earth to relate to humanity, knowing and experiencing their sufferings. Oh boy. Just like Jesus, both humanly and otherworldly. Again, playing the game like he's got a cheat code or something that I don't have access to. So it's like, again, thank you for all this and inspiring it, but I'm not relating. It's not accessible to me. It's almost like you're convincing me, Paul, that I need to believe in this perfection and the way of the perfect man. It's kind of like when you're being sold a workout program. Oh God. And you're not going to put dopes like us up there. Oh, well, unless it's P90X. Yeah. And you see the dopes in the beginning and how they transform. That was powerful because you see the transformation. You could relate to the dopes. We were on that commercial once. We were. Way back when. I think it was 2009. Yeah. We were 20 seconds in the commercial. We did P90X. It was awesome. Lost a lot of weight, got all ripped. We just weren't one of the featured people. But the thing about that is it was successful because it showed the dopes. It wasn't just some fucking muscle guy that was telling you the way they played the game and the way they did it. And you're like, oh, I'd love to be like that. I'm never going to be like that. That guy's got special genes, special things about them that I could never be. But while it is inspiring me to be a little bit better, but it's kind of losing me. You know what I'm saying? You're losing me now. Okay, whatever. We'll move on. When General Zod wanted to destroy Superman and Earth, he erected 2 giants, magnetic devices on opposite sides of the planet to pulsate new atmosphere. I don't remember this. Yeah, a level of gravity or something. And it was fundamentally reversing something on Earth, blah, 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 making it a dark kingdom. He was fucking with the light, I guess. And it's kind of like sin under Satan's rule reverses the natural order of creation, making life morally corruptible and the cosmos inhospitable and inhumane. Do we believe in sin? Not at all. Sin is a creation of the Bible, Paul, and anyone that came after. It's nonsense. It's kind of like a rule. It's a constraint in the game that's not really part of the game. They kind of make it part of the game. It's kind of like saying, we're going to tell you that you have to play the game a certain way or else we're going to look down on you. The game doesn't tell you to play it that way. We, the ones watching you play the game, you're losing me. It's bullshit. Sin is nonsense. Sin, much like guilt, is not of God. It's not part of the game. You don't have guilt in the game. You don't have shame or sin. That's for those who are watching from the sidelines. The symbol of the S on the chest, hope, and then the cross and blah, blah, blah. At the end of the movie, an American general tells Superman they cannot be sure they can trust him. I understand why. Because we're mortals. You're greater than us. You could destroy us. I don't know. You're great now, but that doesn't mean you can't be corrupted, because mortality can be corrupted. The game can get corrupted. Things can go south. People, it's the concept of entropy, or the idea of it, if you want to look at it that way, that the universe is really more apt to be in the entropic state than in order, because you can't know order without entropy, chaos. And chaos is most likely the destination of where things go. They go into chaos, so you could bring them back into order, which is kind of what Superman and Jesus are trying to do, bring back order. So what this general is saying, essentially, I'm just reading into it, putting my own kind of thoughts and feelings. I understand what the general would say. You're great now, kid. But doesn't mean that you're great forever. And to use a finance analogy, when you come to me and say that your credit is stellar, it's perfect. Yeah, your credit is stellar now, but it doesn't mean it'll be stellar forever. And on a long enough timeline, your credit will crumble. If y'all don't know what I'm trying to say, I'll say it this way. Eventually the cookie will crumble, the ice cream will melt, and the mountains will fall to the sea. Nothing stays the same forever. It takes work. And one of the things you learn in this game of life is just when you think you've got it figured out, life throws another curveball at you and challenges you. So if you're perfect, that means you're going to overcome every challenge. You're never going to fail. You're never going to learn. You're never going to be something other than what you are. So you're never going to evolve. That's not how life works, 33 in. And that's why I don't find Jesus as accessible as he should be, because we keep focusing on this and how perfect he was. And his one sin, if you want to say, is that he trusted humanity to understand what he was and what he did. Well, kid, hey guys, how did we do? Not well. Was this worth it? I'm not going to go there, but I understand where you're going, and I'm going to let you go there. You're a little convoluted. Try to wrap it up. I know what you're saying, but you got to understand that inspiration is more than just X and Y. It really is the Z, and sometimes you have to embellish it to get the point across, to make it memorable, so people buy in. And then they go back to the X and Y and they see the little moments, and they find the things they could attach and then they could replicate in their own lives. In other words, I'm not necessarily the total package, but I'm close enough. They just embellished it to the heavens to cover all the stops, to ensure that you had everything you needed in case you did. A parable that you can let sit in your head and chew on for a little bit. Thanks, kid. You got it, guys. Keep going. And then there's the Lois Lane. This is the best one. Austin, this is where you did very well, kid. You ended on a bang. Lois Lane, the famous reporter, has no connection to Mary Magdalene, or so you think. I asked the director about this. You can trust me, huh? But if anything, Lois Lane resembles the church. The bride of Christ. Nonsense. Nonsense. Who collectively called to participate in the mission by spreading the news. Oh, Mary Magdalene spread the news of the crucifixion. Clever. Christians are news reporters, not saviors. They're the reviewers of the play. Or at least the ones trying to promote it. Nah. The list of these 11 parallels, of course, is not an exhaustive. Yeah, but it's good. There's a lot of examples. There's a lot of stuff going on here. And it talks about with all people and reason. It's important to note certain types of stories resonate with all people for a reason, meaning those feelings are not arbitrary, but hardwired in our DNA. The storyline, again, a storyline of a universal problem, a universal conflict, and a universal hero to conquer evil and set things right. It's in all stories. It's in all plays, going back Shakespeare, going back to Greek tragic plays. We love seeing an underdog team pull out a win and triumph over the most incredible odds, like 28-3, right, Tommy? It strikes something in us. We that's accessible, but I postulate that it's not accessible in real life. We get distracted by greatness to remind us there's something above and beyond what we live in, because most of us are not living in greatness. We're living in, say it again, we're living in mediocrity. I stuttered twice, And we try to escape the mediocrity by elevating others and these plays, these movies, these games to escape the truth. The greatest truth ever sold. That if we're not willing to accept this, then we don't even have to deal with this. We just get that fix for greatness and other things, other stories from other places, instead of doing it ourselves. And then we tell ourselves that we can be like them. But because we exalt them, we hold them up to a level that's beyond anything we could ever accomplish. It becomes less like a guidebook and more like a storybook. It makes us feel good, just like going to church makes you feel good, but it doesn't make us do the work. Yeah, Billy Blanks and all those guys are great people that, with the workout programs and they look ripped. I'm never going to be like that. Yeah, it's cool looking at that and knowing. I'm never going to be like that. I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to go back and eat my fucking Twinkies and stuff. You know what I mean? Oh, it's pretty cynical. In some ways it's true. There needs to be a bridge, a gap. There needs to be a bridge across the abyss, the gap between people like this and us. And that's where the church filled in that gap. So they could kind of take this grand story and try to take little slivers of it to make you a little bit better. A little medicine here and there. But the cure to the high score is do what they did. The basics, the formula of what they did. And there is a formula behind how they acted. That's not superhuman. That's actually just very much human. That's why they're accessible. How this guy acted in public and in private, when he goes to his fortress of solitude and he's challenging himself. He's sad. He has doubts. The public doesn't see that, but you do as the viewer of the play. Same thing with this guy. He goes off and he's talking to himself or to God, and he's questioning it. And he's like, oh my God. Even the day before he knew he was going on the cross, he's like, he even says to God, I forget the quote in the Bible, basically saying, can I not feel the pain? Like, I kind of did everything you wanted me to. And God, essentially, my words, no, kid, that pain is going to bring this play home. We can't get around it. You have to feel that pain so they can feel it. That is the penultimate moment of the play. If you believe, and well, why do you believe? Because if there is no Jesus and there is no Superman, there's no Superman, there's just you. And the one question we keep asking, are we truly great? It's a lonely existence when it's just you searching for the one. And when we can't find the one because there's not a mirror out there, then you are perpetually the zero, not the hero. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? And we need something to show us there's a better something out there that at the very least we could reach out for. It could show us the way. But I postulate that I don't need Superman. Thanks, kid. You did great here. Love you. And I put here a thought experiment. Because here I put, do people love characters like Superman because he's great, or is it because they are afraid to be and feel safe watching someone else? They're afraid to be and feel safer watching someone else to be great for them, in a place for them. And folks, open up your minds here. You're going to push back and say, fuck you. No. What's wrong with a great hero story? Stories are great, but they're just stories. They're contrived. They're mirrors of our reality, unless you embellish them so much that you could never be like that reality. And then what are they? When you take the man, create a myth so mythical, he becomes a legend. And it covers up what the man really is, or what he should be, and the accessibility of you trying to be like that man. I can't be like this. I'm chasing a rabbit here that I'm never going to get to. How does that make me feel? If I'm aiming for this high score and they're telling me you'll never get this high score, then why the fuck did you show me that? So I could keep pushing, keep going, and never get there? That's not what he would have said. So why did you create a guy that's fucking superhuman? To convince me he's great so I would pay attention to go watch the movie, the play? Or to truly help me out? Because then I'm questioning the greatness of the story in my world, or I'm sorry, the value of it. How much value is it? Is it just an escape from my shitty reality? Because I'm not willing to accept a truth because you keep selling me on something else so I can believe it. Because I don't believe this or this. This is a classic, the aspirational, he's great. Many love Superman because he represents the moral North Star. Oh, so now, again, back to the star. The brightest star, so I could be guided, direct me in a better way. Is that what it is? Yeah, it's kind of what it is, kid. I don't buy it. The proxy view, safety in the cape. This aligns with your second point. Psychologically, humans often deal with feelings of powerlessness by identifying with the aggressor, or in this case, the protector. Watching someone else be perfect allows us to abstain from the effort. Being great in real life is exhausting and carries the risk of failure. Try being Superman. What it must have been as Clark Kent and then Superman. Knowing you have this great power, having to hold it in, knowing you could fix it, but knowing people have to learn. Oh man, I want to interject. I want to open my mouth. I want to do something, but they got to learn. I can't play the fucking game for them. Right, Jesus? So let me interject, but make it so that I'll tie it up in a parable so they could still do the work and figure it out. Like I want to tell them how to beat the level, but they need to beat the level. Shit. Offload responsibility. If a godlike figure is looking out for the world, we don't feel as guilty about our own inaction or smallness. Yeah, I could fail because someone's always going to come in and swoop me up, right? Someone's going to fix it. Someone will fix it. Why do I have to be great? Fuck it. The middle ground. The most compelling argument is often that we love him because he is both. He provides the comfort of safety, protection, while simultaneously challenging us to be better, inspiration. That sounds great in theory, but when practice, something always falls flat. Because tell him, Jesus, if this all did work, would we be here in 2026 with the fucking world about to fall over off a cliff? Truly, people believe like 35 or 40% of Americans are talking about the end times. Why? I've been on this planet for almost 49 years, almost half a century. And I don't remember ever this many people talking about the end of days. Even us. Oh yeah, even us. Doing artwork and stuff. This didn't work. Kid, they didn't listen. This got in the way of what you were teaching. Kindness, compassion, value for others. That's what Superman was, or is, and forever will be. Service to others. Right, Jesus? But we're focusing on this and the cape and flying around and spinning the earth the other way. The very famous, the very famous scene, Christopher Reeve, spinning the world the other way in anger, by the way. After Lois Lane dies in the earthquake and he reverses it. Crazy scene, yeah. One that stuck with me as a kid. He was literally able to turn back time. How do you relate to that? I mean, I just can't. Do you think a character has to be relatable and flawed like Spider-Man? Fuck Spider-Man. He's not a superhero now. He's a guy. And yeah, he is. I would say Spider-Man, dare I say it, don't go there, is more relatable than Jesus and Superman. Doesn't mean he's greater, more impactful, but more relatable. I could relate to Spider-Man more than I can Jesus or Superman. Go figure. Again, not equating. But he's fictional. Is that why people love Jesus, who, by the way, parallels Superman in so many ways? We just talked about it. Do people really need to believe in something greater than themselves to aspire to it if the very people they're idolizing are impossible to replicate in their own lives? I can't relate to that person. He's just on another level, otherworldly, and now he dodges bullets. Oh my God, he's Superman. I must follow him because I'm not truly great. I have to believe in something. I can't believe in myself, so I believe in an idol. That's how it gets me to forget the crazy world I live in and escape into the play that I'm witnessing in real life. It distracts me from my mediocrity. Bullshit. Feels like it is easier to aspire or try to achieve something completely out of reach so you never feel disappointed in yourself than actually following someone who gives you the cheat code to true greatness and realizing that you are too scared to do what they did. Kid, you could beat this game. You could achieve this high score. It takes a lot of work though, and you might fail. Oh, I don't like failure. I don't like being told no. I don't like dead ends. It's too much work. Because it's not just the work of doing it. It's the work of experiencing it. That's tough. I don't know if I like that. I don't like failure. Because I've been taught that these people are perfect. And we don't really see their failures. Because it's glorified. Because it led to an end point. I don't know my end point. I don't know what the end of my story. I don't know if it's worth it. I'd rather just be mediocre. I'd rather just be. And let others do the greatness for me. Not sure if I'm saying this the right way, but I truly believe that most people I know would much rather watch a movie or read a book about a great man and his story than a guidebook on how to be like a great man and actually doing it. Not trying to shit on my fellow man, you kind of are. But I think that we are not comfortable with our greatness for some reason. Would rather glorify it in some unattainable way, in a fictional setting, to how someone makes us feel about underperforming and settling for mediocrity. That's just my take. 49 in. What do y'all think? Am I just being cynical, nihilistic? Or am I being real? Am I being pragmatic? That we can truly be great. It's how we see ourselves, perceive ourselves, and believe in ourselves. And aim high. Whatever you think this might be. But no. Safety of the pedestal. When someone divine or super, we effectively let ourselves off the hook. Thanks, Gemini. Superman's the alien. Jesus is the Son of God. They're not even from here. They're not even really from the game. They're kind of part of the game. They're not playing the game. They're in the game. They are the game. I'm the one playing the game. Fuck. This game sucks. Trying to make the most of it. What's on television? Myth versus manual. You're right that people prefer the movie over the guidebook. A story of myth allows for catharsis. You find yourself in it, but you didn't do it. You're a witness to it. You're a witness to greatness. Good enough. I got my taste from the outside. The outside looking in. You feel the rush. Again, folks, tell them, Andy, what is it about the news? You either watch the news or you make it. Bye, boys. Thanks, kid. We'd rather watch the news because making it is too, all the stuff that happens in the background, it's just too tough. Because tell them Billy Blanks or Tony Horton. It's a lot of fucking ab crunches, a lot of pain, a lot of soreness. People love and idolize the results, but they don't want to do the work. That takes discipline. That takes stamina. That takes courage. Takes love. Love. For the game. And the greatness. Without even wanting to be great. You just are. 24/7. That's a lot of responsibility. There's no days off, right? Right, Bill? No days off. That's tough. Right, Tommy Brady? They love the 7 rings. They love calling you the GOAT. But if they only knew, if they only fucking knew, you literally gave your life for it and your family. And it goes on, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what if the movie centered around Clark Kent? What if the book told you about a regular guy named Jesus? Both men came from humble beginnings, battled through inner turmoil and tumult, questioning their true origins and purpose before realizing their true greatness and deciding to shine their light in the world. Not a blockbuster story, certainly not a fictional one, but at least it is still audacious, authentic, and very accessible. What's wrong with that? I can relate to that. I can strive to be like that. Not that. Certainly not this bullshit. And Gemini, there's nothing wrong with that, being a regular, blah, blah, blah. The brand versus the man. We talked about that before, the brand. The badass dude who figured out the XYZ cheat code to life. And he's the teacher you have to listen to and emulate. You do abs 5 days a week, 200 repetitions, you'll have a washboard stomach like me, guaranteed, or close enough, or at least you'll be better than where you are now. Don't worry about that. Don't try to be perfect like me. Just try. The mirror's too bright. A regular guy story is actually scarier for the audience. If Clark Kent is just a kid from Kansas who decided to be brave, then you have no excuse for being a coward. Well, fucking, you have no excuse. If Jesus is just a man who decided to be forgiving and loving, because we know love is, for if not one thing, it is forgiving in the face of death, then your own bitterness becomes a choice, not a destiny. You choose not to believe a truth that you cannot even sell to yourself. Go figure. the lit meta perspective. You've been circling this idea that the cheat code is accessible to everyone. It is. When you strip away the Hollywood effects and the religious dogma, you're left with a story about self-actualization. You're left with yourself looking in the mirror. 5445. Clark Kent is the struggle of the ego trying to find its place. Superman is the kinetic energy of the ego being put to work for others. Jesus is the blueprint for realizing that the kingdom is within you right now. You can do this, kid. Don't let me get in the way. I just showed you the way. I opened up the door. Come with me. That's different, folks. That hits different. Maybe it's a perception change. Maybe it is. That story, the one about humble beginning and the inner tumult, is a true hero's journey. It's audacious because it claims that you are the protagonist of your own version. You are the protagonist and the director of your own play. You're improvising. You're on stage. And whether people are watching the stage or not, it doesn't matter. Just be. Do your thing. Someone will. What do you think I'm doing now? No one's listening to this shit. One day they might. They'll hear the urgency in my voice and the authenticity of my journey. And dare I say it, I'm connecting this guy to you without being the priest or the whatever. I'm just a prism. I'm letting the light shine through and embedding it in a way you haven't thought about. That maybe, just maybe, if you only, and then you will. Understand? X, Y, Z. Now y'all get it? It's in the equation. You can do it. He told you you can do it. You can do it. I said, let's engage in a thought experiment, shall we? Anything goes, but this one was first. I want to be audacious here, but, accessible and authentic. Speaking of language a teenager can understand. Cool. What benefit to mankind, or better yet, let me not speak for mankind, for me, is it to have Jesus be godlike and superhuman? Let's end on this. His teachings were sick. His vibe was chill. Oh, kid, you sound like a boomer. And his mission was magical in and of itself. What true benefit do I get from him being Superman? Now y'all get why I set it up that way? We're going to nail it here. Oh, kid. Boys.
Oh, boys.
Because he nailed it here. I'll move on. Fuck. Sorry. I had to lighten up the mood. Hey, boys. Yeah, I see what you're doing here, but be careful. Don't be slinging it into trouble. You'll get intercepted. You got to be careful. You got to go. Thanks, Andy. You got it. In other words, don't take chances we're not willing to deal with the outcome. Something like that. This is the heavy hitter question. The infinite battery problem. Think of it this way. If Jesus is just a great guy with amazing advice, he's like a phone with a 1010. This is kind of stupid. 1010 screen, killer camera. But the battery's finite, As God man, his actions carry infinite value. For you, this means, I forgive you, I love you. Isn't just a nice sentiment from 2,000-year-old friend. It's eternal, cosmic stamp of approval. And we're going to talk about it in another pod. I don't know if it's going to be another pod series or in this one. About how the church, you're going to shut in the church again? I'm going to just reveal something that you might use for your truth. Here's some more Lego bricks of thought and value of religion, especially Catholicism. That this guy did something for you that you'll never be able to repay. You'll never be able to replicate, even though you might try. And you will be forever indebted. You'll be like an instant soul debt, not an original sin, but a soul debt. Then instead of paying, you're going to have to pay it forward and keep passing it on to your next of kin. And your sacrifice, like his sacrifice was for you, you as a parent are going to sacrifice for your kids and kind of guilt them. It sounds like you're talking from experience. I am. Guilt them, not only in this guy's sacrifice, but their sacrifice for you. And that you'll never understand their sacrifice. And then what they did for you and all this stuff. And then you're going to have to be the Jesus of your life and then sacrifice for your kids. And again, it's the same shit over and over again, as opposed to just being and living and just being great and finding other great people and kind of commingling and doing great things and showing a path, an orbit for your kids to replicate. But no, Catholicism teaches that Christ took one for the team, and now you've got to keep taking one for the team. You know, I think you're denigrating your point. I know. That's for another pod. The ultimate Wi-Fi link. Again, this is corny, but I get it. If Jesus is only God, he's too far away to understand what it's like when your heart is ripped out, when you're stressed about life. If he's only human, he's just stuck in the mud like the rest of us. We need something to pull us out. And folks, I understand the idea 1 hour in of creating a story that distracts me enough, but then inspires me and kind of drives a point home. That's the beauty of art. It's a mirror, and even if it's an embellished mirror, to get a point home, to kind of shake, kind of like when your dog is dead focused on something in the corner and you think there's something there and you kind of get its attention and it looks back at you and hey, come here. It redirects you. I get it. I understand that. But when we, idolize it and make it something that it's just great, like a legend, a myth, ask yourself, what value does that truly bring to me? Is it more just distracting me from my mediocrity and my shitty life? Or is it inspiring me to make something more of it? I don't know. I can't put a Z there for you. But I look around in my world, 101 in, not to school you. Corny. But we're not doing so hot. Right, kid? The world is not in a great place. The world is not truly great. And America's not truly great, but I'm not going to go there. You can go there. Well, you probably are here. Do you feel great? Does everything sound great? How are groceries doing? How's gas? How's everyone in the room? Are you staring at your phone, listening to me, or your computer while your kids are also staring at you're not even talking to each other? What kind of world are we in? What the fuck is this? But hey, there's some great stories I can tell you. You want to talk about some great stories, some great plays? Just get you away from this hellhole? Let's play a game. Being 100% of both, he becomes the ultimate mediator. He's the fully human, enough to feel your pain, and fully divine, because that's why he had to feel the pain, because you're never going to feel this pain ever. So shut up, kid. Whatever you're going through will never match his. See how the Catholic Church works? They always have an answer to tamper down your pain and your problems. Oh, you thought you had problems? Oh, you think your dad's a dick? Oh. You know what I mean? Oh, you're bitching about the cost of gas? Oh. I mean, what are we doing here? It's nonsense. This doesn't inspire me. Does it inspire you? This guy, what he taught and how he acted and what he said to people and showed love and forgiveness, that's inspiring. I could replicate that. But this, come on, kids. What the fuck are we doing? If Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and he's not God, he's not a great moral teacher, he's actually a delusional narcissist or a master. You called? Well done, kids. I clap to you. I mean, I'm gonna take a beat here. Hold on. But once you make him, now he becomes Jesus. Oh, okay. Now he's not a delusional narcissist. Oh, for fuck's sake. What's the value, folks? Really? What's the fucking value? Just say. Turn towards the light. Accept the truth eventually. Or at least accept the facts. There you go. Say better correction. And build your own truth. You'll be surprised at what you can do. Aim high. Beating the final boss, death. The final boss was not death, but I get what he's saying here. A good teacher can tell you how to live, but he can't tell you how not to stay dead. What? Yeah. Only someone who is God could lay... sometimes Gemini, it waxes poetic. It makes no sense. Whatever. Only someone who is God could lay down his life and take it up again. The crucifixion and the resurrection. If he's just man, his mission ended at the cross. Well, let me ask you a question, folks. What if it did? What if it did? Does that make him less of a man? He just needs to get into the end zone. Doesn't matter how he did it. Did he do a pirouette? He backflipped into the end zone? He just got there. Why do I need this? And let's say he did do that. And he was joined by 2 other guys. By the way, highly symbolic, this whole thing, the 3, always 3. Again, not saying it's a story, a play, but it seems very convenient. But either way, I believe you existed, kid. Very much so. I'm just not sure about some of the details of the drama. And I don't need that. I don't do it. Right, mama? I don't need all that drama to appreciate the main character that the story is based on. The true life story, it's always embellished. That's inspiring. This, okay, whatever. But let's say he died on the cross and there was no cave. There was no he came back. Does it matter to you, folks? Do you really need that to appreciate what he said, what he did, what he was? I think my favorite moments from the Bible is just the subtle things he says, the way he handles a question, the way, he speaks to a child. The fact that he says we should be more like children. Little things here and there where you're like, wow, that's so profound. That's so beautiful. That's so accessible and authentic and audacious. Picasso said that. He wasn't perfect, but that's accessible. This guy says it, be more like a child, innocent, but craving wonder and wisdom. Or at least not even wisdom, because that's the end point. You just have a curiosity and wonder, open mind, before it's corrupted by, everything else. Right, kid? That's where I find value. I don't need this. But as you can argue that if there wasn't this, I wouldn't have heard of this. So I guess, that's what makes the play, brings you to the seats. But what do you take from the play? It's a whole different thing. If he's God like Superman, his mission is ongoing, his resurrection. Yeah, whatever. I just told you. Let me address each of those fine points easily that none of them, or one more time, take 2. False start. I can easily argue that none of those needs him to be a superhuman, untouchable, inaccessible, omnipotent, and to be frank, unbelievable steward of God. Number 1, forgiveness. I do not need him to forgive me. Kid, you don't know me. And you're already saying I'm already going to fuck up. That's what I am. I don't need you to forgive me. Just be there when I need you. Simple as that. When I falter, and he is there, and shows forgiveness by, listening. Because God is inside, and so is Jesus. I need him to show me the value of forgiveness and how to do it so then I can forgive myself and repent. Forgive me of my trespasses and those that trespass against me, so that I can be on my way. Forgive others and allow them the space to forgive themselves and hopefully me. He did that on the cross powerfully. You don't need to be Superman to be compassionate and show love. Even when your back's against the wall and everyone hates you, they know not what they do. Forgive them. Father, forgive them. They don't get it, but they will one day. I don't need him to feel my pain much in like number 1 to help me manage it and understand it, make sense of it, and help me manage it, understand it, make sense of it, and let go of it. That's what I need. Be a director. I don't need you to be on the stage. There's a better way of saying it. Pretending to be Superman or being one makes it harder for me to buy in because it creates an impossible bar to live up to that opens the door to shame and guilt and a soul debt that I could never pay. Sorry, wrong picture. I could never pay that back. You're guilting me in the metaphorical, meet me here, folks. You're guilting me with these, oh, kid, don't do it. Like the equivalent of washboard abs. Works on many levels. While I'm sitting on the couch watching the commercial of you being a badass and me eating fucking Cheetos and going, no, I can never do that. You're guilting me. It's like, he did it for you, so you should do it. Oh, fuck. Move on, kid. This is weak. Anyone? Not to mention a debt that I could never pay back and never ask for. I never asked for it. I never asked for it. He can easily help me with all this without being Superman. Number 3, this one actually proves why Paul and his followers had to create this mythical being in order to bring validity to the man or the myth that should have sold itself but needed more juice to close the deal for anyone that heard it. Number 3, in other words, is he a liar or a legend? That's for me to decide, motherfucker. Don't force it. Don't hand me a Z and then stuff it down my throat. I can figure that out for myself. But you know how the church works. It's a one-way communication stream. Don't try to mirror it back. Don't tell them about the plot holes or their punch a hole through your fucking heart. Corny. Or true. It should have sold itself but needed more juice to close the deal for anyone that heard it. If the teachings don't hold up on their own, then I will forever need the man or the legend, the product. Oh, the product. Bingo. I'll always need the medicine because they didn't sell me the cure. They keep selling me the medicine. Right, kid? If only you can fix it, then you're my medicine. I cannot cure myself because I don't believe. And if that product can only be gotten in one place, the church, you go from one-off self-help class to a lifetime subscription. This one seems more about creating lifetime customers than people who could improve their own lives, taking agency and authority of their own existence 111 in. In other words, if we can create a medicine man and you think the cure happens when you die, you will always need the medicine man. Right, kid? Like when he goes away for 4 years, you're like, everything sucks. Now I'm back. Everything's going to be great. It still sucks, kid. Sorry. Truth hurts. One day you'll understand that. So he beat death. Good for him. How does this help me? How does this help me? Or this? Other than being a great story that I tell everybody. And an excuse why I believe. I mean, seriously. I believe in that, but I don't believe in this. Or this. Go figure. I wonder why. Because that's the cure. But I need the medicine. Go figure. Again, I believe in the man. I believe his teaching, his guidance. I believe in his teachings more than anything. They are so powerful. I do not need the myth or a legend. Fuck that. To idolize. I do not have a cross around my neck in gold for what? Because we keep remembering this. Remember this. The cup was the symbol that we should be remembering. The cup that rises, that's raised up. What's in the cup. We'll talk about that in another pod series. We got it wrong, kids. We're focusing in on the medicine, not the cure. And that's the problem. I just need the cheat code that he provided to win the game and one day pass the final boss myself. None of what Jesus taught is denigrated or less valuable if he's just a badass dude who was connected to something higher, played the game better than anyone, and put his mouth where his heart was. And bet on himself. At the end, before winning and walking away from the table without taking the pot. That's badass. I don't need Superman, so let me postulate one thing that might sound counterintuitive to all of this. I believe the man was much more impressive. Take two. I believe the man was much more impressive than the myth. And that myth, at least for me, tarnishes the legend. I said it. Neither the book nor the movie was as good as the truth. 114 in. Paul got too Hollywood because he didn't believe the words were enough. He didn't buy in fully himself or couldn't sell it as is. So he embellished to close the deal. He overpromised, where Jesus underdelivers, and is a matter of perspective. But I think his choice to go Superman on us, as opposed to badass prophet, caused more trouble and pain over the past 2,000 years than if he just told us the story like it was and focused on the teachings themselves. Just make it a biography, kid. Don't make it a blockbuster. Don't make it that. Just make it this. But got to fill them seats, those pews. The workout program wasn't good enough, so you had to create a celebrity trainer to help sell it to the world. I get it. I just don't need it. That's an incredible pushback. It's more than that. It's a way of, it's a new belief in something greater that I can achieve with his help, not his legend or your story. Sorry, kids. I see a different path or a different orbit. I see the cure. Skin in the game factor, blah, blah, blah. Death is a graduation, not a bug, blah, blah. The final boss. Yeah, if you stay dead, but yeah. It's all there. Y'all could read it. The subscription model critique. Your point about Paul is the ultimate corporate versus indie argument. I mean, go ahead. You're saying the church took a grassroots movement and turned it into a franchise by adding the superhuman requirement. I mean, how many more movies, right? How many more movies do you have to explain this fucking guy's story? How many more books? Oh, there's only 2 of them? Thank God. Only one of them where he's literally in it. Yeah. The unattainable bar problem. You're 100% right. Be perfect like God is a recipe for a mental health crisis. Yeah, I mean, shit. Look where we are now in 2026. If Jesus is Superman, then whenever we mess up, we just shrug and say, well, I'm not God. I'm not perfect, so, oh well. Let me go to church and repent. A couple Hail Marys and I'll be fine. Let's leave a few bucks in the basket and we're good. He'll inscribe my name in his heart so long as the check clears. But if Jesus was just a dude, like the Great Lebowski, suddenly we have no excuses. He could be that chill and that loving while being fully human. Then we actually have to try. The prophet version is actually more demanding because it proves the lifestyle is actually doable. Do I have to say, how many more times do I have to say this, folks? If we strip away the Superman layers, we're left with a man who is so connected he seemed divine. Does the source he was connected to have to be a God? Or could he just have been the first person to truly hack the human brain to operate 100% empathy? Great fucking question. Read it again. Does the source he was connected to have to be God? Could it be something else? Or could he just have been the first person to truly hack the human brain to operate on 100% empathy and zero fear? He played the game like no other, but within the constraints of the rules, and just like I would play it. Same joystick, same buttons. He just fucking nailed it. He was on another level. He was in flow state. Pretty much. Great question. You are going exactly where I was hoping you'd go. Let's put Jesus aside for a moment. Set something up and then bring him back and see if I can prove it. I can't see if I can't prove, or at least add more validity to my earlier claims. I truly believe that life is a game. It's a lit game. Not saying simulation, big difference, at least to me. Everything in life mirrors gameplay and strategy of any video game, going back to Atari, Pong. We just happen to experience it all with a rendering engine unlike any other. I'm going to talk about that in another pod series. The game's so real you feel like you're in it, or it's in you. If I'm in the actual game experiencing it, where's my consciousness? Is it here, or is it someone else controlling my avatar from afar? Well, are you in the game, or are you controlling it from outside? You tell me. Maybe because he's right next to us outside of it. Maybe that higher level consciousness that he spoke about in the Gnostic text was a hint. Kid, there's something bigger than me, than you, than all of this. You can get there in your mind and elevate. You could connect with your true outside self, the existence in this game, and get a better handle on this game, this life, and how to win the game. In other words, you could connect to the guy playing outside, because that's really you, not the one that's in the game, which is also you, and connected by a mystical thread of consciousness. No. We could do this together. Blah, blah, blah. Know what I mean? That Jesus I can dig. I can buy into that guy. Telling me that he got the Mario superstar and God moded the game does nothing for me if I can't do the same. If I can't even find the mushroom Oakett in my world, then I'm not even going to win. I'm never going to win this game. It's not even possible. This is where your badass prophet involves the pro gamer. If life is a lit game, then traditional Superman Jesus is like the developer who dropped his own character into the map with infinite health and level 99 sword. Now you get it. How does this help me? It's cool to watch, but it's a total pay-to-win flex that doesn't help the rest of us stuck on level 1 with a wooden shield. Now Gemini gets it. But the Jesus you're describing, he's the guy who's already beaten the game on the hardest difficulty using nothing but the standard issue controller. He did it like I would. He just did it best. I could relate to that guy. Here's how that out-of-game connection changes the narrative for you and your teen. He's the voice in the headset. If his consciousness is outside the game, the higher level he hinted at, he's not the statue to be worshipped. He's the veteran player on the other end of the headset. He's telling you, hey, I know this level looks impossible, and the fear boss is huge, but I've been there. Look to their left. Look to your left. There's a path called forgiveness that bypasses this whole fight. What a great analogy. Well played, Gemini. Well played. He isn't playing the game for you. He's coaching you from the meta level. Like the Bible says, he's going to walk with you. And when there's only one set of footsteps, that's not when he carries you, folks. That's when he gets on your back so you could realize that you're still not alone, right, Yoda? But you still have to do it yourself. I can't play it for you. I can't carry you. That's why Yoda was on Luke's back. Does anyone understand that? George Lucas was brilliant. Still is. The Gnostic Easter egg. The Gnostic vibe you mentioned is basically saying, do y'all know what I just said? Listen to it again. The game is real, but it's not the ultimate reality. If Jesus is Superman, he's just the strongest NPC in the game. But if he's the guy who figured out how to access the source code, and then his magic wasn't a miracle, wasn't this, it's, well, when you drank from his mouth, it was just him understanding the rules of the engine better than everyone else. In other words, I could replicate that. His message isn't look at me. It's look at the control in your own hands. He's trying to show you that your avatar, your body ego, isn't the real you. You are not the game. You're just playing it. You are bigger than this. You're outside of it. But we're playing a game. We need to focus. This is the most important thing in our life because it is our life. But we're something greater. We're outside of the game, but connected. Your real self is the one sitting on the couch outside the game or standing in the arcade. Y'all get it yet? Finding the mushroom. In your version, the mushroom isn't a supernatural gift dropped from the sky. It's perspective. When Jesus says the kingdom is within you, he's literally saying the power-up is already in your inventory. And if you believe, well then, boom, you could unleash it. Higher level consciousness. It starts with this. And ends at that? Nope. You're always this. It starts at this, becomes that, because you always were. Why Paul Hollywood? I don't even, fuck him. If Jesus is the pro gamer who walked away from the table with no chips because he realized that chips weren't the real currency in the actual world, what is the final boss of your game? In other words, I can't take this score with me. I'll leave it behind. I'm something greater. If the boss death or this boss, the illusion that, is the boss death or is the boss the illusion that the game is, this game is all there is? Great question. Death, much like a dream, is an illusion. The Book of the Dead teaches us that. As Jesus said to Mary, if you believe the Gnostic text, I'm inclined to at least consider it because it jives with the rest of what he taught and how he lived. But I don't think it's the end all. I think that even the Gnostics got it wrong, but whatever. They made their own story. I do not think death is the final boss. I believe the true victory is putting down the controller or stepping away from the game, rejoining the actual higher consciousness playing it and go outside. Kind of like the Wii. I've been stuck inside for too long. It's time to feel the sun on my face and go live. This life is just a test. It is not graded on a curve, despite what the church tells you. You are only as good as your actions and the value you provided while playing. Value your greatness. And what you leave behind, your legacy. You can't pray your way to a higher level. You can't faith your way through the game. You can expect to memorize you can't expect to memorize a big book and all of its passages and idolize some Superman from 2,000 years ago and just believe your way into heaven. You've got to earn it. Controller drop. One more thing. I truly think that we pass off our own greatness or potential for it and our inadequacies and fears on other people and entities so that we can be let down easy when we fail. Because we don't believe. In the Old Testament, man could blame God or woman. In the New Testament, you can blame a lack of blind faith and belief on a Superman for failure. It doesn't compute. I can't run that through the cheat code and make the numbers jive. The math doesn't add up. Paul knew that. That's why he and his friends made it so that the payoff, the end screen, happens when you die and go someplace else. This place sucks. This game's annoying. It's better at the end when it's all said and done. The game's going to suck either way. Don't worry about it. Just get through it. and always show up on Sunday. The real Jesus said you can make it happen here. Forget heaven being a place. It's a state of mind. When you achieve that state of mind, you achieve peace inside and everything outside of you becomes paradise. Blah, blah, blah. And it asks me here, it says, I just gave it up. Yeah. If paradise is a state of mind we can achieve here and now, what do you think is the biggest system glitch or distraction keeping people from toggling it on, from getting there? The church. Mic drop. We'll end on that. Folks, what do you think? I got a little convoluted. I zigged and zagged a little bit. We talked Superman. We talked Jesus and Superman. We talked real versus, well, something else. Talked a little Trump. Some shots were fired. I'm okay. Right, Caroline Levitt, pay attention. Some shots are going to be fired. When you operate in the world of make pretend and make believe, and people wonder if it's make believe or make pretend, but it was real, and when you're always crying wolf, well, you can't blame them for questioning you and not believing, right? What are you going to do? In the end, the Bible's an interesting book. It tells stories of, well, a lot of men. One great one that I could think of. And going back to the beginning of our episode and ending on this, what is greatness? Well, it's bringing value. It's, well, whatever you want. It's whatever you put there. It's a Z that you hold close to the vest. You hold tight to yourself. There's a better way of saying it, but greatness equals value. You could find yourself in it if it's a place. You find yourself, well, better because of it if it's a person or a thing. It is a shining light like a star in the sky that just shines a little brighter than all the others. Gives you direction, gives you hope, gives you faith, inspiration, but it still doesn't play the game for you. You still have to do that. And if sometimes we need a little energy when we physically feel down, we need a little pick-me-up, a little caffeine, hope and faith and courage, dare I say it. It's like caffeine for the soul. But what is caffeine other than just to hype you up, get you excited if you're not going to do anything with it? Well, it's just a stimulant. It picks you up before dropping you down pretty hard. And if you want to rise up, elevate, you want to fly, you need more than just faith and belief and courage. Those help. You just got to play the game. You got to go do it, kid. Nike was right. Just do it. And whether or not you believe in something greater than yourself, you know this is what you not. This is what you want. I stuttered. This is what you were built for. This is why you play the game. Don't worry about the other scores. Worry about yourself. But understand other people did it better than you. Learn what they did Understand and listen to what they said. No need to replicate the wheel if they already rolled down a particular path. Just follow it, and then blaze the trail where you need to, and do your thing. You were born great. It's just whether or not you found the light to believe that and prove it to yourself, because eventually the Z will prove it. Or else you have to play the game all over again. Y'all willing to come back to the arcade and keep doing it? I've got 1 quarter in my pocket, or better yet, in the machine. I've got no more quarters in my pocket. This is my last go round. And I'm gonna nail it. Right, kid? I'm gonna rise up. You coming with me? I think so. See you in the next episode. God bless you. I love you.
You
Peace out.
have reached the end. Game over.